Hey, good morning. Good morning, Justice Warriors. Let me get slightly adjusted. Um, how are you guys, Mrs. Amir and Susan and Mark? Mark, I got to see your lives. You did one yesterday. So yeah, I saw the ones from the couple days ago. And then I think I caught your live yesterday right after it was over. So I was on your replay crew. And I thought it was cute how you were like getting set up at the beginning. So I thought I'd take a lead from Mark and just come on before I'm ready and you guys can see all my little uh tedious adjustments. It's all so technological. I mean, you know me, I'm all about the lights in the background and my little subliminal messages. Hit that like button. Not so subliminal, right? Um, oh my goodness, my lighting is crazy. Hold on a second. My whole top of my face is all dark. Pixie knickers. I had this one turned on and then it got turned off. So let's see. There you go. Now you're really getting the feel for what it's like being a content creator, huh? For all of you that are toying with the idea and thinking, nah, too much trouble. It's more fun just to sit in on other people's. And it is. I mean, in some sense, I do have more fun sitting in on other people's. But in another sense, I really like to have my own little thing because when it's somebody else's show, you don't want to guide the way the show goes, right? You want to allow the content creator to do that. So I got my neckline, I got my shirt, I got my hair, I got my lighting, I got my coffee and my water. I think I'm all set. So I'm just going to get all comfy here. But see, that's where you got to be really careful because, especially us chicks, I'm just being a little brutally honest. My goodness. Um, I'm just gonna have to like do something because there's times where this fisheye camera makes me look like I've got like a quadruple D and I don't have that many Ds. That's too many Ds. Um, and like I said, TMI. But girls got it hard, don't we? So I got the slow mode on for every 15 seconds. I hope that doesn't frustrate anyone. I know Kenny, Crime Watch with Kenny, was a little perturbed by it. I hope he comes back. I hope he forgives me. Um, and let's see. Please do your subscribe, share, turn on your notification bell. Um, I've got my water, I've got my coffee. I'm good to go. I'll just do my little disclaimer statement. Is the lighting okay? It seems a little dim. I certainly don't want to be dim, not dim-witted, right? Let's see if I adjust them a tidbit more. Then do I look like I'm green or, because I am an alien. I forgot to tell you guys that. That's why I like to say greetings, earthlings. Um, so here we go. Everything I say is simply my opinion, simply for the sake of conversation, always hoping to open up a interesting discussion and to learn something and to be relevant and to be educational and to get educated. And all my videos are made for YouTube. It's an entertainment platform. Here we are. It's a little bit early for us, isn't it? It's just 9:38 on October 11th. I think it's Wednesday, the last time I checked. And as you guys know, I like to review my videos to see what I'm doing correctly, what I'm doing incorrectly, what I can improve on. And I have noticed in my recent videos that there's some glitches where things are actually cut out. And it seems like when I talk about specific cases and specific things, for example, across the water, 3,000 miles from the continental US, when I mention things about the enforcement of the law, so you get my shirt all straightened out. It seems like sometimes things get cut out there. It certainly seems like things get blurred when I'm speaking about Ms. Kylie. and some other things. But those are the two main ones where I really notice glitches at crucial moments. Have you guys noticed that? A 14-hour live starting. Oh, you are too cute, Mark. You're starting a 14-hour live, or I am? No, I'm going to be on for just over an hour, probably like normal. I was a little bit rushed yesterday. We went for, I think, an hour and 5 minutes. It was a couple minutes too long for my schedule, but yeah, me, 14-hour. So yeah, I'll have my cheese tray and my grapes and my wine, and I'll just be good to go. So, hey, right before I came on, I didn't want to move the time back like I so often do. I scheduled it for 9:30, right at about 9:20, because I thought I was good to go. And then I noticed at like 9:29 that there was a new 5-minute Gabby Petito update from a Florida news channel. And I was like, "Oh, I must just go to my edit and make my live a few minutes later so I can watch that first." And I really wanted to, but I was like, "No, I don't like doing that to my folks. I like to try to be on time if I can. If I set a time, I'm going to try to do it." Which is why I often don't set a time because, so many things happen. And, I'm working and I've got things I got to get done. And if I get interrupted, you know, just too many balls in the air. Anyway, I have not yet caught that Gabby Petito update, but I'm excited about it because her family really needs to get some freaking justice, don't you think? Um, so the only thing I want to change with my background is I want to keep my subliminal advertising here. Not so subliminal. How's that? Please share, subscribe, and ring your notification bell. I am definitely, I think, targeted by some entity that does the shadow banning. So again, when I pick up with that case up in the northern part of the state of California, it seems like it really happens then. And I don't mind. I would think that my content was less relevant if I never got any of that type of thing. And it was just yesterday that I was thinking, wow, I haven't been trolled in a while that I know of. So maybe I am getting less relevant. then, then lo and behold, I watched my video and there's all these blips. And I don't think it's my computer. I don't think it's my lighting. I think it's something, some other force. Hey, Mark McAllister, how are you? So yes, paint away, pixie knickers. And let's get into our cases. Goodness, I want to talk about Kylie, of course. I want to talk about Maui, of course. Suzanne Morphew, Idaho 4. And then, like I said, right before I came on, the Gabby Petito thing came on, and I was like, oh, I would love to talk about that, but that might be a little bit much to go in all five of those directions. So we'll just keep it to the four. Um, the people of Lahaina, you guys, like I mentioned yesterday, I do a lot to try to keep up with what's going on over there. And it's very challenging because they're far away from the mainland, obviously. And I think some of the channels, like Hawaii Real Estate, he got threatened. He changed gears. And Brush Junkie is still at it, going hard, and so is Blossom and Her Wellness. There's a few other channels as well. A lot of people there, a lot of the locals are not happy about the reopening of the tourism. And I watched an interview yesterday on the news with the governor. Was it? Yeah, it was the governor. I was thinking for a second it was the mayor, but no, it was the governor, Governor Josh Green, and he was defending himself fiercely that, he cares so much about the people there and he cares so much about the economy and that he's going to do this and it's not as bad as people think it might be. It's not as big of a reopening, kind of a soft reopening, if you will. And there's like 14,000 signatures on a petition to not reopen. And he acknowledged that and said, "I appreciate each one of those signatures. I know how difficult it is to click that button on the computer." So, it didn't sound like he really cared, like he was giving it lip service, like, "Oh yeah, I got that memo and I acknowledge it and I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do." Like, a little tyrannical, if you ask me. I have a photograph, I don't know if I can show it on YouTube, of a victim of the Lahaina fires that's completely charred, and I took the screenshot off of a YouTube, um, and so maybe I can just put that YouTube channel in video with a timestamp because it's really bad. So you guys have probably heard about the cats and the dogs that have been kind of frozen and charred, and they still have their hair and everything, and this is a person, rest their soul, and they have cornrows in their hair, and their cornrows are still perfect. It doesn't have their face, they're laying on the ground face down, but it's really disgusting, and it shows you what these people are talking about, and I don't know about you, but I'm having trouble discerning with my eyeball on the internet what are photographs from Israel and what are photographs from Hawaii. At this point in time, they pretty much look the exact same. So I think that says a lot. I pretty quickly, when this situation happened on August 8th, and I found out about it almost a week later, I pretty quickly went to that place of, oh dear goodness, I hope this isn't what it could be, like a turf war. And, I tried to suspend my opinion of that, but pretty quickly it looked like a turf war. Squirrels on fire is in the house. Again, I forgot to text you. Sorry, girl. I love texting you, so I know that I've got, my squirrel backing me up, and I don't have my squirrel mug today, I have trees. I got my little tree theme going. But yeah, I was thinking about you, Shan, and thinking of trying to come on earlier because I remember a year ago you made some comment about how you wake up with, like, the ungaslighting with your jazz and with your coffee, and I just got such a good, rush out of that. I thought that was so cute. That stuck with me all year, and I thought, maybe it's time to try to get back into that because, like I always say, I do better earlier in the day, but now that I've said that, I'm gonna jinx myself and completely have the word salad come flying. Did you hear my thing last week with the Maui case about how they have, like, the number salad? So, their freaking numbers where they were tallying up the fatalities early on and came as high as 115, and then they stuck at 115 for weeks, and then they had their 44-minute presser with the goon squad, as I call them, the doctor in his long white lab coat, the defense dude from Honolulu with all the nervous ticks, and then Chief Pelletier, and then their little tiny young woman that was there to make everything warm and fuzzy. So they had that 44-minute presser where they were explaining how they settled the numbers because they were consolidating body bags and all that crap, and they came down to 97, I think, that day. I think that was when they hit the 97. So they settled the numbers and they explained how whenever there's a catastrophe, the numbers are always inflated in the beginning and then they settle, and that's not true. The numbers are usually going up as time passes because they don't want to overinflate. They don't want to exaggerate and they want to, not instill panic in people because it's against the law to instill panic in people. But anyway, so they stuck with their little 97 number salad for a long time. And then I think it was 2 days ago, maybe Sunday was the first time that I saw a video where they came up to 98. So they're still under 100. They're still under the what is that place called? The Station nightclub in Rhode Island where they had that terrible pyrotechnics fire in the early 2000s. And I think that that's their goal. Their goal is to try to take themselves off of the map as the highest count of fatalities in a fire in modern history in our country. I really think that's their goal, and I think they're lying. I think they are number salading, and it's crap. It's utter crap. The people that have lost their lives deserve to be counted, and the public deserves to know the risk factor with the danger of fires when nobody is in charge and nobody is going to take the helm and nobody is going to do what is supposed to be done in a situation like this. So, they're saying it's going to be 18 months before they have a report of what went right and what went wrong and what they could do better. 18 months because, yeah, it takes that long, right? That's crap. That's utter crap. Um, but in the meantime, the officials are stepping forward, like the police chief and the mayor and the governor, and they're admitting that they had no idea who was in charge. Like, ay caramba, that's crazy. Um, Oh, Justice A to Z is the right one. Yes. What are you sending me? I have a Coburg image for you I found on Fortune. Curious if you saw it or not in the beginning. Oh, thank you. Yeah, you got the Justice A to Z. You spelled it right, and then at gmail.com. Horror, whole different level seeing that image of human. It is. It is. I mean, until I saw that image in the video that I took the screenshot from, I could only picture it when people talked about the cat or the dog that they had video or photograph image of. And this is why I think that there were no drones allowed. This is why they put up the walls. This is, the the big black barrier so you couldn't see what was going on inside the burn zone. Um, and Yeah, it's absolutely horrifying. Now I'm wondering, in the early drone footage and the motor scooter footage that Eric West and some others did, I'm wondering if there are images in those that you could zoom in on and see some of that. Not for the gore effect, not to be macabre, but to understand what the F really happened here. It's so horrifying. Good morning. Didn't get notified. My bell was turned white. Susan Dodge, I'm sorry. Let's see, I'm a little bit behind you guys, so let me get caught up. It's number and word salads made with bits of overly processed meats and some of that high fructose corn syrup, right? Goodness. Do Hawaiians register all their births? Such a fantastic question, Annie Ruler. I doubt that they do. As a culture, I would imagine that that's not their highest priority. In Mexico, we get bad storms and many flow down the river in the ocean. Then they say zero loss of life. Whoa, exactly. Exactly. That is so scary. It's so scary. I mean, not to beat a dead horse, but we all remember the day when there were reportedly 180 um, individuals' remains that washed up on the island of Lahaina. It's so similar to Lahaina. Um, Lani, the island that's just 10 miles across the channel there. It's a much smaller Hawaiian island. So, reportedly, that one day, I think it was like 3 or 4 days, or maybe a week after um, the horrible day of August 8th, that happened, and that's something that happens often. In fact, I wanted to mention a really cool story from the news. and I'll put a link in my description, that there was a woman whose great grandmother, a photograph of her great grandmother washed up on that small island, Lani, however you say it. I'm sorry if I'm sure I'm saying it incorrectly. But a photograph washed up of her great grandmother, and it was put on the internet, and it was connected to her, and she got a hold of it. And it was such an amazing story. But that also shows the evidence that things often wash up to the shore on that island, which makes sense when you look at the geography of it. Um, and yeah, if that was the numbers in one day, we can only imagine the rest of the potential. And I still stick to my guns that I think that the numbers are over 1,000. And I only think that from listening to all of these professionals in their testimonial interviews on the internet. So, this is why the internet is so important. This is why YouTube is so important because, whoa, because we don't want to just go with mainstream media and what they're willing to report on. So that was weird. My cell phone just like fell right off the arm of the chair. Always something, just making sure I'm awake. Maybe it was a ghost. Okay. So, um, let's see. Email sent. Oh, I'm so curious now. I want to see it. I'll respond to it as soon as I can look at it. Shan, thank you. Um, were there any blue roofs in Israel? Annie, such a great question. I would imagine that there were some people who had the foresight to have some blue roofs. I think I have attention deficit. More coffee, more coffee. Um, hey, super agent. Who's super agent? Is that? Oh, super agent Sunshine Joy. Hello. I don't think I've ever met you, super agent. What a fun handle. Um, let's see. Blocked areas because afraid of outrage of what happened. It was deliberate. Um, Right, and like we were saying yesterday, I made um, my big reveal of believing potentially that there were not meant to be any survivors, and a few of you chimed right in with that you felt the same way. I really think that. I really think that that's why it was so deliberate in not having cell phone signals, not having water, not having um, the sounding the alarm, not sending out texts because they could receive texts, but no texts were sent out. And then the corralling of the people into that downtown area that was getting torched and wanting to build things in a historical town like that, you're not allowed. You are simply not allowed. And if you do get anything built, you have to jump through a lot of hoops and have a lot of political connections because there's going to be a ton of resistance. So there's all kinds of that in downtown Lahaina, or there used to be. And then, as we all know, the proclamation that the governor made at the end of July canceled all of those things out in the event of something like a wildfire, right? I mean, it seems so deliberate, it seems so obvious. I don't want to be thinking on the level of a conspiracy if that is not actual truth. Um, but there seems to be enough evidence to support that as at least a potential possibility. And some of the content creators that I watch, like Brush Junkie, she seems so level headed, and I think that's where she's coming from. So, and then, as we all know, with Eric West, that was where he was coming from, and he got threatened. So, you wouldn't be getting threatened if you were just crazy talking, in my opinion. Um, so let's see. clicked the black bell to get all the notifications. When I looked this morning, the bell was white. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, Susan Dodge. That's the shadow banning, I think. I mean, I don't want to always go down that road because it could just be another glitch. There's a lot of glitches in the system. So, let's see. Make update with Jack. Hello. Yeah, and I want to switch gears over to the Jacks. Do we pick from JD or JS? Yeah, make update with Jack had that handle way before the Idaho case because I asked that question early on. I love me some Super Agent. Oh, so you know Super Agent Squirrel? Cool. Um, and Sunset, why did you redact your statement? Was that an accident? Good morning, Shan. Looking forward to your next live. I know, and I don't want to put any pressure on Shan because I'm sure she puts enough pressure on herself and she's got other stuff going on, and that's fine. We'll just patiently wait for when you're ready. When is that going to be? No, I'm just kidding. Whenever you're ready. And sometimes we think we're ready and then we're not. So, this is why my thing is I try to have my routine because I'm super routine oriented and I do best when I've got the predictability and the schedule because life is so unpredictable and things always happen. Your cell phone just decides to jump off the arm of the chair and make all this ruckus. you know, there's always something. So I like to try to do things predictably and just, I always say I'm like a little kid. Like little kids do best with structure and routine and consistency and reliability. And I am like that even in my old age. So and I'm proud of it. I'm just a simpleton. I hope it is wrong, but a retirement city in 8X, they can't get fire insurance. I smell land grabs. We need to see and try and turn the movement around. 8X, is that Alaska? What's 8X? Um, I got my name from Real Justice back in the day, super agent part. Oh man, why is Real Justice not doing any more videos? And so somebody mentioned to me in my comment section a couple days ago that True Crime Time has discontinued videos. They've not produced anything in 3 months. That's the one that I called out 6 months ago, thinking that they could potentially be Josco 1972. I really think that they could be Josco 1972. And then they quit making videos 3 months ago when all their videos straight out the gate, starting Christmas Day last year, I don't know that they've done a single video not about Idaho 4. They probably have. I mean, I don't watch them that much because it warps my brain because it's way too much insider information. I'm 100% convinced that True Crime Time is a Moscow police officer. 100% convinced, in my humble conspiracy theory opinion, allegedly. So the fact that they quit producing their content, I thought, little me couldn't have had anything to do with that, could I? I mean, I'm just a tiny itty bitty channel, like the size of an ant. They had 20,000 subs within a month or something when they started. It's just like, okay, you really don't know how to like run a fake channel now, do you? You kind of gave yourself away right away. Anyway, and I laugh and I take it with a grain of salt because I could be dead wrong. Maybe this is just some genius who just like is psychic and knows all this inside information from being inside that house in their dreams or something. I mean, that is possible, but unlikely. Unlikely. Yeah. Check that channel out if you want to know what I'm talking about. But I confused it with True Crime Design when I was talking about it last week. And I'll just be honest, I'm sus of that channel too. And there's many that I'm suspicious of, many channels that especially with artificial intelligence, it'd be easy to make a whole bunch of fake channels if you're doing one channel. And there's another content creator that I'm pretty sure is doing that right now. And she's like hyping up her base channel in her newer channels. People, come on, like just be real. Like, I mean, I don't put my name out there, but I am authentically who I am and what I am. And the only reason I don't put my first and last name out publicly is because trolls, YouTube, stalkers, you just got to be careful, right? I mean, come on. Um, let's see. But I try to just be me because there's nothing else I can be. There's nothing else I can be. I tell you guys what I'm thinking, what my thoughts are, what I'm feeling as much as I can because if I didn't, I'd be like Miss Sammy and I'd be all confused and all these words would fall out of my mouth. I'd be all word salading and starting one idea and going, "Huh, what? I have her completely. Huh? Squirrel." I mean, this is how you know people are lying. And same thing with content creators. There's a lot of content creators that never show their face, that never go live. Let me give a huge shout out to the dear Paula Plunder because she didn't used to show her face for the same reasons that I was speaking of, just being safe. Um, Dana Morin, I see a Gmail from you that you've been blocked. No, say it ain't so. I'll check it out. Um, anyway, Paula Plunder is amazing. What was I saying about her? Something shiny. Um, anyway, she didn't used to show her face. I know what I was saying. And then she got her channel shut down. And it could have been from a specific case that we'll talk about in a second that she was extremely productive in that case, and she's getting extremely productive again since there's been an uptick after 3.5 years. Um, and when her channel got shut down, she never showed her face. And then the only way she was able to get her channel back on was by putting herself in the middle of the screen. And she would usually do like a split screen or even like a tri screen where she'd have videos on either side of her and then her face, or sometimes just half and half. But she's been doing that ever since she restarted her channel because she was in a back and forth with YouTube and they wouldn't allow her to start her channel back up without that. So why do they allow all these new channels to never show their faces? I mean, I don't get it. Anyway, I'm trying to stay caught up with my people here because I really like to prioritize that when I'm not so pressed for time. And let's see. Yeah, Real Justice. I really liked that channel a lot. Just like one of my all-time favorites, Swear Kimberly. Do you guys know that channel? I'm going to put a link in the description today. Swear Kimberly did a ton of amazing videos on the Watts case. She covered other cases too, but I don't think she's done anything on YouTube in 9 months, but I don't know if she's gone over to another platform. So if anybody knows Swear Kimberly, please clue me in because she is the bomb. I love that content. She cracks me up, but she's so pertinent at the same time. I've been privately dealing with some booby health stuff, detoxing my home space and spending time with Fee, but I'll be getting back into doing lives likely tonight. Oh, squirrely, I'm so sorry, booby health crap. Ah, you know, I trust your hunch, Mark Molina. Man, you are so spot on. I really enjoy your channel, Mark. And like yesterday, you were saying you were having all this technical difficulty and that, you weren't really producing anything, but you were. Like you have some exquisitely sharp ideas that I don't hear coming from anyone else, and you know stuff. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love Real Justice. I respect their work and whatever reason for not making more videos on Kylie. Well, and maybe they were too good and they got threatened, right? Very well could be. Thoughts and prayers, Shan. Yes, let's do a community prayer. I really believe in the power of this platform for getting huge prayers with huge powers. So let's do that for our squirrel on fire. Definitely. Let's smoke that crap out of there. Um, had only one, had only Idaho 4 content, Jazz, sus from day one, in my humble opinion. And I'm imagine you're talking about the TCT. So one of the first things that clued me in about that channel, because I get bamboozled like everybody else, was when I noticed the icon, that tree line was the same icon on the Brent Kopaka channel, not channel, um, Facebook page or something like that. So Brent Kopaka had that same icon, and I was like, wait a second, exact same, exact same. So it's a black and white photograph with a tree line and a full moon. Um, and then I started looking into it, and yeah, I wonder why people drop Kylie Rodney so many times. Right. Yeah, there's not that many of us covering it, but I do want to acknowledge those that I don't always acknowledge, because I so often acknowledge Mark Molina, Squirrels on Fire, Divine Justice, aka Mrs. G, the Honey Badger, and um, Ninja Chihuahua. But a couple that I often forget are Kevin Neese, and I love his stuff. CNY, she is also amazing. Larissa Slaughter, I don't know if she's still covering stuff, but the imprint is still covering stuff, and CCTV. And if there's others that you guys want to mention, please do, because I don't mean to be exclusionary. And then we all know Shan did a coverage recently, a series of videos looking at Speaks Van Holding 24/7, 365, and his previous coverage of Kylie Rodney's case. And that was awesome, Shan. Thank you so much for doing that. There's so much richness on the interweb. I feel like if you know what you're looking for and you know what you want, otherwise it's just a whole lot of crap out there, right? just just like television. Let's see, where are we at? I wondered if you were right about TCT. Feel like he heard you call him out. Timing is more about when we were sorting Kopaka BK wannabes. Other channels called him J. Scott Dunn. And I don't mean to be rude calling anybody out. I'm trying to keep it real, to quote our dear friend Dave Chappelle. Just keeping it real. Perhaps I'm wrong. Perhaps I'm in left field, and could be a whole bunch of other things. But Annie's always right. So there's no doubt about that, in my opinion. Um, but yeah, uh, timing is really good evidence when you're doing any type of investigation. Timing is everything. Okay, everyone, this is not my real name. Mark Molina? You're so funny, because it probably is. So now you're trying to throw us off. This is why I enjoy you so much. Super Agent Sunshine Joy, hope everything is okay. Squirrels on Fire, I'm just a mom of three, live on the East Coast with a huge interest in true crime, and particularly with Kylie's case, have been enjoying listening to you, Jazz. Well, thank you, Super Agent. And where on the East Coast, if you want to share a state. If you don't, that's cool too. You can do no face videos. They aren't required. So it had to have been something else, maybe identity tied to her channel needed verified or something. Well, with Plunder, I think that people in high places were messing with her, because they shut her channel down. And she's the one who famously got that 3 hour and 33-minute videotaped interview with Nichol Kessinger in the Chris Watts case, that she just kept at it. Persistence paid off, and she got that video footage that they had refused to release a number of times to her and many others. Um, And so it was probably that case that got her, because I don't think she has uh, that video on her channel anymore. You can find it other places because once she dropped it, it spread like wildfire. Like Shannan Rusic's brother Frankie, he put it on his channel the same day, and you can find it on his channel, and a ton of content creators that's been a go-to because there's so much information in there, but it's not on Paula's channel, and she's the one who got it. So this is why I bow down to her with the utmost respect all the time, because she rocketh. So I was thinking maybe from the Morphew case, because she's always kicked butt with that one too. But now that I think about it, it was probably, and both of those cases are in Colorado. So maybe it was a combination. I believe YouTube cared about scary words like the BLOOD if they monitored rap music the same. I got comment banned. We are protecting the community from people like you. Gross, Annie Ruler. Because, yeah, then they let people like American Dream Chaser talk about pervy crap. Like, man, I feel like his channel should be shut down. And there's a few others that I feel like should absolutely be shut down. Like, they should be investigated, possibly put in jail. Like, that shit is 100% illegal. Like, I won't even say those words. And I'm pretty sure he still has a channel. I don't know. I never check in on him. No, thank you. I just got a channel violation for a video I made for Squirrels on Fire, and it was over a kid being on a motorcycle doing stunts with adults. Guidelines are broken, in my opinion. What? See, that's because you're a Kylie uh, fighter. Prayers to my friend Shan. Going to put you in my prayers every day. Absolutely. Jenny Pooh. JTS, I'm here listening and supporting for a bit. I'm reassessing some life choices at the moment. I love you all. Oh, Jenny Poo. So, Paula Plunder just did a really good drop on Suzanne Morphew, where she is going over a lot of texts between Suzanne and her best friend. And I made a comment the other day about how, we have to be careful what we say on the internet, because whatever we say in the comments or what I say, people can take and run with it. And it might just be that we're, you know, just shooting from the hip and just thinking out loud. So it's always good to be careful. And then right after I said that, I said some pretty specific things about accusations that Suzanne had towards her bereaved husband, that she had claimed that he held a gun to his head at one point in time, and that he had forcefully pinned her onto their bed, I think more than once. He might have like thrown her into a closet. And when I said those things and I reviewed the video a couple of days later, like a few days ago, I was like, oh man, that's hilarious that I said, like, watch what you say. And then I said those things without backing them up. So I'm going to back them up in by putting a link to Paula's latest video that she just put out this morning, where she's going over all of this with a fine tooth comb, and she's going over it from the court documents, you guys, because that girl is all about receipts. And I try not to speak unless I've seen the receipts, but I know that I'm not anywhere near her league of having my receipts, showing them to you on the screen next to my face while I'm speaking. But I try not to talk smack. I do try really hard to not say anything that I'm not pretty solid and sure of from my own Freedom of Information Act requests, public records requests, or from somebody else's. So Paula has a lot of experience in that. That's probably something she does every single day of her life, is following up on Freedom of Information Act requests. Because when you make a public records request, you guys, I'd say more times than not, you're not gonna get that request. Almost always you're going to get a response that says you need to be more specific or we can't do that or something. And you have to have a little bit of back and forth. So usually it's your second communication or your third communication that will then deliver what you're trying to get. And sometimes you want to be vague when you're making your request because you don't want them to know exactly what it is you're trying to find, but then they can come back to you with that's too vague, you need to be more specific. So it's a tricky business, but it's one of those things, just like sleuthing. It can be fun, especially when they send you stuff that you never thought you would get. Like I've had um, clerks of courts send me stuff accidentally in an email that I opened the email and saw it and couldn't believe what I was seeing, and then it was deleted because you can do that with Dropbox. You can delete from your email after you send it. And then I even communicated with the clerk and said, "Hey, there's something missing in the email that you sent." And then she went on with this long diatribe of explaining how there was a glitch in the Xerox copier and that's why it was missing. But she was bald faced lying because I saw it and I never told her that I saw it. But it was a picture that you would not think that they would ever release. It was of a victim. It was crazy. I literally, like, had to rub my eyes. I was like, "Am I really seeing what I think I'm seeing?" Because I opened that email the second she sent it, and then within a couple hours, she deleted that one out. It's a wild and crazy game. So where are we at? Reassessing some life choices and Jenny Poo. So yeah, I was talking then about Suzanne Morphew and her life choices while I was listening to Paula Plunder's video. Her Suzanne's text conversations with her best friend, trying to get out of that marriage, concerned for her physical safety, her emotional, mental health, her physical health, everything. And she was trying to do it intelligently with, mindful of the kids, mindful of finances. And the finances are another thing that Paula was doing a really good job digging in the court records about all of that. Because, like I said, Susan was loaded. Suzanne Morphew was loaded. Um, and I think that that's one of the reasons why Barry Morphew married her to begin with. She also had cancer when she was young before they got married, and she fought cancer and she got it into remission. So I had a little thought this morning, like interesting that she had cancer after she met Barry, before she married him, and then she had cancer again when she's trying to divorce him. Maybe he's toxic, and I'm not kidding. Maybe, perhaps, in my opinion, he's 100% toxic. And I really believe that you can get cancer from crap like that. So I thought that was interesting. With the money, Chris Watts, I think he also was a gold digger. I think Barry Morphew and Chris Watts were gold diggers, that they set their sights on these beautiful women who were loaded and had health issues. Yeah, yeah. Um, anyway, let's stay caught up with you guys. And yeah, definitely um make good decisions for yourself, Jenny Poo. Take really good care of yourself. Um Ninja Chihuahua, Illuminated Mind. Thank you, squirrels. Illuminated Mind, Prophetic Forensics. Those are awesome. And I don't always think of their names, and they are some of my favorites also. Feels like nobody of authority is willing to put our timeline and facts together regarding Kylie. But we're of authority, Annie Ruler. You can do it. You got the authority. Um, yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure they hate that these people, Army of Jesus, Army of One, Army for Kylie. What's the name? I'm sorry. What is the name of her channel? She does a really good job hitting it home for Kylie all the time too. Um, Kylie's Army for Jesus. Anyway, yeah, I'm sure that the people there in Northern California despise those of us that stay stuck on this case, and they wouldn't if there was nothing to hide. So mentioning it is perhaps a better word. Uh, Jenny Poo, hope your life choices can be recoverable. I had some doozies always come out better. Well, and divorce is so rough if that's what it is. But yeah, there's so many challenging things in life. Super Agent is in Massachusetts. I love Massachusetts. I've been up there more than once, I think. Definitely, I've been up there once. I spent a little bit of time on Nantucket Island, like a week, um, and then other parts of Massachusetts as well. I got to stay in downtown Boston, right in the middle of Beantown. That was fun. Anyway, that was a long time ago. Thank you, Annie. I hope so. I hurt people with my bad decisions and regret it wholeheartedly. Thanks again. Oh, and yeah, I have been to Massachusetts more than once. It's just been forever. But a lovely state for anybody who doesn't know. It's really, really cool. Boston's super cool. Um, and I'm so sorry, Jenny Poo, hurting people with your bad decisions and, living with regrets is rough. That's really rough. So there's so many people that believe false narrative in the Chris Watts case. Yes, and I have noticed that my dear friend Kelly with Watts the Obsession is dropping new material in the Watts case, and she just dropped something a couple of days ago about NK that looked very interesting. The title on the thumbnail was something like She Knew. We know she knew. I mean, come on, give me a break. Plunder gets some good scoop. Sad, I have learned to make a video or some videos before their truth gets censored. Yeah, Annie Ruler, you rule. I mean, you do great as a commenter and you know, calling in, I think, on being on panels. I think I've seen you do that. Um, and if you felt like having your own channel, I'm sure you'd have some amazing content. But if you feel like not having your own channel, that's cool too. I mean, I think that even viewers that aren't commenting, I think are very valuable. It's very important, I think, for these things to be in the collective consciousness and these cases that need justice and need light shined on their darkness. Um, I am convinced that we do help, that we certainly do. I mean, the Gabby Petito case is a perfect example, but I think that the Morphew case too, and the Kylie Rodney case, and Maui, and Idaho 4. I think without YouTube, that Idaho 4 case would have been wrapped up, just wham bam, thank you, ma'am. SC excels more about our topics, gets us shut down. Yeah. I love Plunder also. Yeah, she's just an amazing individual, I believe. Like Shan, like Mark, like so many. And, I mean it's nice to appreciate the content that people share because they don't have to share. Like, you know, none of us have to make our videos. We do it because we feel a calling to. And it's an offering. You don't have to watch. So for people that are agitated by certain content creators or certain videos, do yourself a favor and no watch. So it's hard to understand why people want to then complain about the videos because if you don't like it, don't watch it. There's a bunch of other stuff you can do. You don't even have to be on YouTube, right? But if you don't like it and then you're putting your energy into commenting as well, then it makes you wonder, and what's the pull, what's the connection, what's the agenda? Um, Somebody changed his channel name again to the Kylie Rodney channel. Oh, good lord. I noticed when I search for any new Kylie videos, he is one that should not have a channel and be banned. Vile. Well, and yeah, I mean, he should be investigated for fraud for sure, in my opinion. Wow. With the Kylie Rodney channel, like, give me a effing break. I can't believe anybody watches his channel. Like, that's gross. So let's talk about Idaho 4, because that's gross is something that reminds me of what Steve Gonzo has said recently about that there's things in this case that people would think were gross, that he thinks people will be really shocked when they find out. And what he's referring to has us all scratching our heads, right? Um, I would think that it's got to be something pretty bad, gory, ugly, possibly of the three-letter word starting with S and ending with X that Annie Ruler just mentioned. Possibly the macabre crap. Um, Possibly relationships. I mean, Bethany has always been single as far as what's in the public arena, what we know. Dylan was in a relationship with, I'll just say, a gangsta wannabe type at the very least. Um, those two, those two are guilty as sin, in my humble opinion. They are guilty at the very least of interfering with an investigation by not calling sooner. But neither one of them ever called 911. So my thought is that neither one of them wanted to be on the recording. They got Hunter over there and they got Hunter to call 911. And why hasn't that recording been released? Probably because there's things on it that maybe it's even what Steve's referring to. Maybe that's where the grossness is right there. Um, Let me stay caught up, and as we switch gears over to Idaho, can't stand that one. A hack. Um, I'm mad at YouTube for allowing that one and all of his channels fraudulent. I reported over 50 times. Good for you, Mr. Molina. Thank you for doing that. That's an excellent public service. Let's see. Jenny Pooh, I knew I liked you, great minds. Yes, on that guy. Sending you prayers your way. Yeah. Um, yeah, just, when you're crowdsourcing prayers, I think that there's a ton of power in that. So let's crowdsource prayers for Jenny Poo, crowdsource prayers for Shan, and I'll just ask, I wasn't going to crowdsource some prayers for my family. I had a family member get admitted to the hospital last night. So please, let's crowdsource prayers for all that need the prayers for sure. Let's see. NK was there involved, probably planned and pushed CW to do it. Well, Mark, you've seen the video of her. I was speaking about this last week where the detectives in that 3 hour, 33-minute video are pressuring her to say Shannan's name because she never says it. She calls her like that woman and her, and you know, they make her say it and she goes Shannan. And that right there makes you wonder who did the hands-on operation there, in my opinion. That was a big one. The other big one was when she says, they're so little. And she does this next to her talking about the toddlers. They're so little. And it's like, wait, you never met them. How do you know how high their heads would be? according to you, you never met them. According to your boyfriend, you never met them. But no, I'm sure she was there that weekend that it happened. And Shanann was out of town. Of course she was there, in my opinion. Um, anyway, stay caught up, stay caught up. Um, Sending love. Oh, Casey the cat. Thank you. It's so kind. Look at your big heart. So yeah, I was talking about Barry and Chris Watts being gold diggers, but really, ultimately, I would think that they're digging for a heart of gold, to quote our Neil Young with his Heart of Gold song. But they're so confused about who they are and what their life is about that they think that they just want the money. And they want these beautiful women too. It's like the trophy wife that's loaded and sick and maybe dying, and then you'll get all their money. Lovely. Um, like that's gross. People always talk about women being gold diggers, but these men are gold diggers, and that's why they unalived them, in my opinion. It had a lot to do with money. A lot to do with money in both of those two cases, allegedly, in my opinion. Annie Potts calls in. I lay down most of the time sticking with comments. Okay, yeah, I thought I might have been crossing my wires there because you guys are so similar in your sharpness and your names. Thanks for clarifying. You are awesome and so kind, Jez. I have to go to work. Bye for now. Have a lovely day, Jenny Pooh. And yeah, we're praying for you. We're crowdsourcing that prayers. I hope Jeff gets sued by the family. Yeah. Casey the cat, hello. YouTube will let Kevin start earning, take his cash, motivation for YouTube to time people out. Um, Kevin Neese, they're taking his cash. I need to catch up with Kevin Neese. I know he did a 50-plus minute video about Kylie just a few days ago that I keep meaning to catch. Shan has zero money. They only want money. Shan, he has zero money. They only want money. Bex and anybody who wants to support Squirrels on Fire's channel, she's got cash apps and such. And I want to promote supporting her channel financially because I know she's a single mom and she's got a lot on her plate. Um, so you don't mind me doing that, Shan, do you? Let's see. And yeah. Um, Terry Barker, hey, hi, nice to see you. Um, let's see. At least he has one Coke um possession charge. Wait, Annie Ruler? Dang, girl. I was just going to start talking about that again because I've been talking about my suspicions with him and substances lately, and I don't want people to think that that's unsubstantiated. Like, that's a professional and personal opinion based on my own life experience. That man is a hot mess. He's all over the place. And I had no idea that he had a possession charge. But it's my guess that that is a lot of the financial strife, and a lot of the craziness, the erratic behavior, the violent behavior. Um, I mean, and maybe he's bipolar, but I mean, he has a lot of manic type of features and characteristics, but it's hard to suss that out if somebody's using substances. Um, Hit me. Okay, needed 5 or 6 hours to get back to Boise. Makes sense. Um, 5 or 6 hours to get back to Boise. Oh, Annie, are you talking about Dylan in Idaho? Wow. Because maybe her boyfriend from Boise was there. What is his name? I can't think of it off the top of my head. You guys know it. You can help me out. Dylan's boyfriend. the gangsta wannabe. Boise was 5 or 6 hours away. He said he'd never been to Moscow. Really? With a hot girlfriend like that in Moscow, I would think he's been there a lot, like every weekend, at least, for sure. Um, wow. And yeah, the cleaning up. I mean, give me a freaking break. That whole thing with that one latent shoe print. So somebody cleaned up, people. And what? Did somebody just have one leg and one shoe? Like, holy crap. Like that whole story is freaking whack. I like to tongue in cheek call it the case of the bushy eyebrow killer because the whole story based on the eyebrows and Ashley Banfield. Oh my goodness. And you look at his driver's license and it's right there, the bushy eyebrows. Therefore, we know he did it. She literally said on News Nation that that was enough right there to hang him on. His bushy eyebrows on his driver's license, and that Dylan reported a bushy eyebrow killer. Or was it a bushy eyebrow guy that she thought was just wandering through the house partying? One of those. You can't have it both ways. You got to pick one. Let's see. Ninja, what up? I've only just seen the last live. We'll have to do replay later. I know there's so much good content people are pumping out right now. It is really hard to keep up. I love it when it's like that. I mean, it's frustrating because you want to see it all and there's just not enough time in the day, but I like it much better than when there's just nothing to watch. It's hard to find that balance. I don't know if there is one. Um, it's like feast and famine, right? So much of life is like that. My gold digger ex, his first wife dumped him as soon as kids were old enough. Her parents were loaded. Men and women can use people for cash. Absolutely. I uh, like to use the term meal ticket. You know, some people have children as meal tickets. Ninja Chi, accept my Discord friend request. Yeah. See, yeah, I've never done the Discord thing. Um, I'd probably just get lost in Discord land because that's kind of what I do. I'm all or nothing. Love to you, Terry Barker. And cash apps are nice. Take no cuts, right? I believe that, yeah, they just go right into the person's bank account. So that is cool. Thank you for the shout out, Jazz. Donations are appreciated always. Blessings. Awesome. Yes, let's do that, you guys. Let's contribute if you want, if you can, to Ms. Shanda. She does so much. And yeah, when she's not making videos, people aren't probably doing that without seeing it in her video, but you can do it when you see it in my video, right? Yes, Bethany F is the one with the coke charge. Bethany, not Kevin. Oh, I thought you were talking about Barry Morphew. Okay. Bethany F is the one with the coke charge. Okay. See, that's where you got to be so careful because I immediately thought you were talking about Barry Morphew. Um, and then I said all that stuff, and now there might be people who just see that one part of the video and run with it and go, "Yeah, he's a cokehead. I saw it on Jazz's show." So please don't run with that. That's a question, is if he has a substance abuse problem. He also was a professional athlete and then um, had an injury, so he was no longer playing with the Toronto Blue Jay baseball team. And a lot of athletes that get injuries get addicted to painkillers. So those things will make you crazy too. So it's easy to get caught up in the substances. Um, I mean, I speak from my own addiction history. You guys know it's October, so it's like my anniversary and 1989. So what is that? 34 years? Wow. Like I wouldn't have thought I could have made it 34 days, you guys. Seriously. 3 or 4 days I wasn't even sure about. On the fourth day I almost slipped, but I didn't, and here I am 34 years later. I'm not saying that I'm squeaky clean and that I haven't had issues because as an addict, Um, it's par for the course. But damage control and managing, and I try to do my healthy addictions, like literally water, exercise, YouTube, I'll admit it, definitely one of my addictions. Um, and other healthy types of addictions like gardening. Like that's a huge addiction for anybody who gardens. Mark, I heard you talking about making a garden room in your house, and you better watch it. It's a slippery slope. It is so freaking addictive. I never thought I'd fall into that, but I sure did. And I love it. I absolutely love it. Annie Ruler, you should think about your own channel. Quinn Kelly, thank you. Many admit black truck. Thank you, Annie Ruler. I knew the name, but I was never going to come up with that. Quinn Kelly. That's Dylan Mortensen's boyfriend who says he's never been to Moscow. So, again, like these are things that detectives use as nice indicators of people lying. Never? You've got this extremely hot chick that you're dating that lives in Moscow and you've never been there? Never? Okay. You if you use words like always or never when you're giving testimony, you can really hang yourself, you guys. So be careful with that. So, yeah, if there's any evidence that he's ever been to Moscow before he said that, then you know that he's lying. And yeah, that black truck, Annie Ruler, thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, Cash App and Venmo don't take cuts. PayPal doesn't take much, but YouTube takes 30%. The only way California Venmo, PayPal tax you is if payments exceed $600, which I've never seen. Well, hopefully you will. Annie, you should think about a channel, even if it's just shorts of screenshots or whatever. Yeah, absolutely. I've told you guys, Paula Plunder was the first one to suggest that I start my own channel. And that was kind of her angle of suggesting it was with shorts and stuff. And I couldn't even wrap my mind around shorts. I barely watch shorts. They drive me nuts. Um, but with her promoting me and propelling me, and What's the Obsession inviting me as a special guest speaker onto her channel. So that was how I broke the ice with the YouTube. Without the two of them, I don't think I would have ever done it. So I'm eternally grateful. It is, it's nice to have people that you can contact and use as mentors and ask questions because there is a lot to it. So anybody who's interested, I'm available if you have questions and want some pushing, Annie Ruler or anyone else. Um, yeah, because you've got so much to offer, Annie. But again, if you don't feel like doing a channel, that's respectable as well. I hate that YouTube will not pay content creators fair and square. It's just wrong. I hope people use Cash Apps. So yeah, they still haven't monetized my channel. They did briefly back in January for 45 days. It racked up a whopping $167 that I've never seen. But yeah, it's just the back and forth, and I don't know and I don't care. I mean, thank goodness I'm not dependent on it because I know that some people start their channels thinking that it'll be a source of income, and that would be a rude awakening because it probably was once like that, right? It was probably a lot easier for people to make money, and so they just keep changing it to make it harder and harder. So they're making money off of us, I'm sure of it. I saw a picture of David L. Ouch. Payne described the opposite of Loach. In my opinion, Loach can hardly see eyebrows. Um, man, pain in my arse is what I used to say. But then somebody a week or two ago said pain in my butt. And I was just like, I never thought it. It was a few weeks ago. I think I was speaking about it last week, but who was it who said it? Was it somebody who's here? It was so funny. Pain in my butt. It was probably you, Annie Ruler. I'm sorry that I can't keep things straight. There's so much going on in the squirrel brain. I get taking their cut. I do, but not 30% on each video, especially if you have under 100,000 subs. Yeah, I mean, come on. Come on, people. Squirrels on Fire is 600 single deposit. Good to know. Um, Barry the Chipmunk Chaser. Yes, Ninja. Oh, he's so atrocious. Him and his stories. Always the hunting. That's always his go-to. Well, I'm a hunter, so I was hunting chipmunks. I was hunting the elk. That's why I turned left when I said I turned right, and then my GPS showed it different. Yep. Single transactions of 600 or more will get you a 10.99 or anything above 20K net yearly. Good to know. Yeah, stay on top of them taxes, huh? One day at a time, Susan Dodge. Absolutely. LOL. No 600 per person transaction. So if you get 10 times 500 a day, it won't be taxed by that. I don't know. That's wild, Shan. Um, Squirrels on Fire. Dang, I collected commissary and would be reimbursed about 1,000 each time. Taxes now. Ugh. YouTube are a disgrace. The way they treat people is wrong. They move the goalposts and don't make information easy to access. They should just pay people for the hard work. That's exactly what they do is move the goalposts, Casey the cat. That's exactly what they do. Like with me, they were saying that I had to have a professional website. So I have a professional website. I've been paying for that monthly for a year, and then they said I have to verify that I'm me, and I keep verifying that I'm me, and they keep saying I need to verify that I'm me. And then they come up with other stuff too, like AdSense stuff. And, I have my IT crew on it. I think we'll get it figured out, but I don't know. It's just a headache and a half. A bald hot rod. I love it. Eyeballed hot rod. I love it. Um, Not sure what that means. It drives me up the wall when they do what they do to you, Jazz. They keep channels like this down because they are near to the truth. Well, thank you, Casey. I like to think so, but I don't want to overinflate my ego. That's the last thing that any of us need to do. It's not about us. It's about justice and it's about the cases. Um, and yeah, I would think that a lot of people would like this channel because I try to not do the bells and whistles and I try to just keep it real. I have 4,000 subs. I like to say that's like 4,000 more than I ever thought I'd or 4,000 times more than I ever thought I'd have. And it's great. I love it because I feel like I have a toehold, but I'm not going to be getting the cart before the horse. I think when your channel blows up really quickly, like Drip Drops, his blew up really quickly. Um, and Harsh Realities blew up really quickly. Um, some of the others, like Plunder and What's the Obsession, like they were a slow burn. It took a while for them to get off the ground. And some of that could be some of the sexism that is in everything in our world. I do think that. But whatever it is, it's just important for each of us to find our own truth and to find what we like and what inspires us. Like I'm always saying that, like follow your bliss, do what inspires you because life is too short to not do what inspires you every day, right? And as creators, as artists, like that's so important. But I think even if you're not an artist and you're not a creator, whatever it is that inspires you, whatever it is, if it's food, if it's artwork, if it's music, if it's kids, if it's animals, Do what inspires you. You have to tie your YouTube to AdSense in order to get a payout. If you haven't done that, that might be why you didn't get the funds or they aren't keeping you monetized. Okay, yeah, I keep trying it. Thanks, Shan. I figure you could help me with it. So I'll just show up on your doorstep, right? Thanks for compliments. We have been blaming PTSD for my lack of focus. Love commenting though. Aw. Yeah, you're super focused, Annie Ruler. Taxed on third parties outside of YouTube wasn't always like that. Biden just passed it recently, so I will be in effect come this tax season. Huh. Pixie Knickers. It was me who said pain in the Mabbit. Thank you, Pixie. You're awesome. I'm behind. Had to pause, catching up. I've seen it on another channel, so I didn't come up with it. Well, thank you for speaking up. I knew it was a regular who said it. And like I said, I am amazed that I never came up with it, but I literally tried conscientiously to not make fun of that woman's last name because I just thought that's like the low hanging fruit. That's just too easy. And I mean, she's atrocious. She said there was no need to do a talk screen because that wouldn't change the outcome. Hello, there's always a need to do a talk screen in a homicide. Always a need to do a talk screen in any fatal event. Give me an effing break. That's basic. That is the craziest crap I've ever heard. Um, and let's see, my channel blew up so fast. Oh, Mark, you were so cute. I love it. I think you are getting what around 200 subs, which like I say, that might be 200 times more than you ever thought you would have. And maybe I'm misquoting. Maybe it's higher than that now. But yeah, his channel is called Mark Molina, right? And I highly recommend it. It's great. Like the video he did yesterday where he thought he didn't have much to offer in it was sharp as a tack. There were several things in there that were extremely valuable. And I appreciate your work very much. If you need help through it, Jazz, when you go to do it, just text me and we'll set up a date time to do it over the phone call to make it easier for you to link to them properly. Awesome. And with my in-house IT people, that should be a breeze with you and them. So we will definitely do that. So there's Mark's channel, custom car painter Terry Barker. That sounds cool. I'd love to pimp my ride. Um, I saw a really cool, like bright green Toyota 4Runner a few days ago that I was just like, wowzy. Um, it's great. Yeah, it's awesome. You just started your channel, right? Just so like I guess it's been a few months because one of your videos is 6 months old. The one of um, the slow motion of the presser with Sammy making out with Lindsay, the make-out presser. That's what I'm going to start calling it, the make-out presser. But you did a slow motion of the make-out presser that is at least 6 months old. Maybe it's 7 months old by now. Thanks, Shan, and I hope it isn't rude or disrespectful to be painting as I listen. Of course not. It's okay to be at 200 only for Kylie, right? Because there's just not. I mean, you're not in it for the money, right? And the community is a bonus. The hug, yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so have we talked about everything we wanted to talk about with Maui, with Idaho 4, with Suzanne Morphew? I don't think we've said everything we need to say about Kylie Rodney. Um, the makeout presser. That's a good one, huh? Just all the freaking lies. That's all you got with Kylie Rodney. The whole party was a lie. The whole fire cam video. Like, I was all about them getting a hold of a fire cam video from Go because I've been there and I know that they have those types of things. And I was like, why are they not showing fire cam videos? Why are they not looking at fire cam videos? That should have been their first thought when they said they had a missing person. But there's been some really good videos the last few days. Uh, I think Illuminated Mind is one of them. Ninja Chihuahua is one of them. The Divine Justice, aka Mrs. G, is one of them. Just really, and Mark focusing on the Angela and her delivery with her pressers. So that's what you were talking about yesterday, right, Mark? Or was that one a few days ago? Because you were so spot on with that. I think that was yesterday's, where you were just like, she is not sounding like she's telling the truth, and then she's overselling, which is a red flag. Big hugs to Ninja. Pixie, I'm always drawing, painting, sculpting, or whatever when I listen. That is so cool. I love it. I do a lot of sewing and jewelry designing when I'm watching videos. Um, or, I have them on in the background while I'm working. I want to do another night of reading through comments, forums, threads, live chats, etc. I know that is such a great way to go, squirrels. Yeah, you get a lot of good information that way. Um, Illuminated is crushing it. Now, is Illuminated the one who did the thing with the artificial intelligence and making kind of like a dream video of the robot dream, the artificial intelligence of Kylie Rodney? Because that's what I thought it was, an illuminated mind, but I was looking for it last night and I was having trouble finding it. I'm working on my space as we listen and chat right now so I can get back into my crafting. Ooh, especially with winter. I'm excited. I have so many projects lined up. Oh, cool. I remember when you were doing like um some refinishing of a piece of furniture that was an heirloom, and I loved that. That was such a cool approach to having a live. That was really neat. We'll have to do art and crime lives again. What a great That'd be a great name for a channel. I wonder if there is a YouTube channel with that already. Yes, my 1940s gossip telephone desk. Gossip desk. I forgot about that. That is cool. Crafts and crime. Yeah. Very cool. So let's keep talking about Kylie for a minute. We're at an hour and a half, so it's probably time to wrap up. Actually, I do need to wrap up really quickly. I just remembered I have something right now I gotta put my attention on. So, you guys, I'm gonna do a quick signing off. Thank you so much for being here. Have a lovely day. Drink your water, get your nutrition, exercise, fresh air, sunshine. Be kind, be true, be brave, be you. It rhymes. Be true, be you. Sending you light, sending you love. And sorry I have to cut out so quickly, but thank goodness I looked at the clock. See you tomorrow, hopefully. Take care.